Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us in this adaptive yoga class today. My name is Alisha. I am an adaptive yoga instructor. I've been with CAF for about 7 or 8 years, and I teach to all levels, all abilities. So this class is designed for anyone, and I will give some modifications, but mostly just listen to your body, and please feel free to go deeper if you know how to safely or modify. Most importantly, we're just here to connect to the breath and the body and the mind. So it doesn't need to be anything extravagant. It's more of a internal practice. So we start this by connecting to the breath. So we'll come into a seated posture, and I will demonstrate in a chair. For those of you that want to stay in your chair, you can stay here for the entire practice. You're also welcome to move down to the floor and come into a seated position there. So whichever seat allows you to lift up nice and tall, lengthening the spine as if there was a string attached to the top of your head, just rooting or lifting you upwards. And then your feet are pressing down towards the earth, or your sit bones, however you're situated, are pressing down, so you're getting this grounding energy. So there's this grounding, pushing down towards the earth, and this uplifting, reaching up towards the sky, creating a little bit of space in between each vertebrae. So softly close your eyes and begin to take that awareness inside. And as you feel the body lengthen here, let's start to bring the breath in. So we breathe in and out of the nose. So this takes some time to get this rhythm down. So take a few moments here to connect to your breath. Try to let your inhales be just as deep and long as your exhales. If you're finding it hard to breathe in through the nose, feel as if you're pulling the breath from the throat. And just let the nose be a passageway, so the throat actually pulls the breath down into the chest, but all the way down into the belly. So we want to avoid that short cavity breathing that we do on a daily basis. It's all up here in the upper portion of the body, in the chest. So we want to bring it deeper than the chest, down into your belly. So we can let these muscles relax up here. Let the breath go deeper into the body. This way we're able to get a much fuller breath, much more expansive, and much more balanced. So doing your best throughout our whole practice, this is the breath work. If you find at any point that it's getting too much, or you're starting to get dizzy, of course breathe however you need to. If you feel you're getting overheated, open your mouth and release some heat out through the mouth. Otherwise, keeping the mouth closed so that we can keep that heat inside the body. It'll help us move deeper into the postures, and it'll help the mind stay focused. Good. Continuing with this breath, you can open your eyes. Now we're going to inhale and reach your arms up overhead. So you can take your arms out to the sides, you can reach them all the way up. Whatever height you can bring them up, that's the inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to reach out and down, take them all the way back. So just trying to connect the body to the breath here. So inhale and reach up. And exhale and release down. Inhale and reach up. You can also add the head here or just do the head if the arms don't want to lift. Exhale and look all the way down. So just trying to get some movement here in the shoulders, neck, and upper spine. Inhale, reach up. And exhale and reach out and down. Just a couple more. Inhale the full length of the inhale. And right at the top, the full length of the exhale. Slow the arms down so they match the pace of your breath. Inhale, we're right in sync here. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Good. Keep your gaze down, chin towards your chest. Just stick your hands to your thighs here. And let your head rock from side to side, just little half circles. Warming up the back of the neck muscles. Continuing to flow with the rhythm of your breath. Feel free to stay on one side or another if that feels good to linger there for a while. Just keep that breath moving in and out. Good. And then bring your chin back to your chest. And then slowly just lifting the head right back up on top of the spine. So you're resting the head right on top. Not leaning forward, not leaning back, but right in the center. And we're going to do another exercise that connects the movement to the breath. This one for the head, neck, and shoulders. So let your right arm come down by your side. And just try to listen to the instructions versus watching, because this one can get a little confusing. So you can close your eyes if you'd like, or watch this first time. Inhale, sweep your arm up. So reaching that right arm up on the inhale. And then exhale, sweep it down and look over your left shoulder. And then we'll inhale, sweep the arm up, bring the head back to neutral. And then exhale, left ear to left shoulder as you lower the hand down. So a little different motion with the head. Inhale, sweep it up, back to center, looking straight out in front. Exhale, turn and look over the left shoulder as you sweep your right arm down. All with the breath. Inhale, bring everything back to neutral. And then exhale, left ear to the left shoulder and reach out through that right arm. Good. One more round here. Inhale, bring it back to neutral. And exhale, turn and look over the shoulder. Inhale, back to neutral. And exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Good. Release your hand down, bring your head back to neutral. Take a breath here. Good. And you can always do this with the head alone, just matching the movement with the pace of your breath. So we'll inhale, sweep the left arm up. And then exhale, reach it out and look over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, right ear to the shoulder and sweep that arm down. Inhale and reach back to neutral. Exhale, turn and look. And inhale, back to neutral. And exhale, right ear to the shoulder. Let the head be heavy. Reach out through that left hand. One more time. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, turn and look over the shoulder, reaching through that left arm. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, right ear to the shoulder. Take that left arm all the way down, place it on your thigh, and slowly bring your head back up to center. Beautiful. All right, let's do a little seated cat-cow. So if you're on the ground, maybe switch your legs so your legs are crossed the other way. If you'd like to flip over to your hands and knees, you can always do this from that position as well, or you can sit right here in this chair. So cat-cow can be done on many different ways. So on your inhale, we lift the chest, arch your back, look up, and then exhale, we round, shin towards your chest, let your hands slide forward, reach your arms forward. Do this from the side, inhale and lift up, arching the back without letting your head drop back, exhale and round, getting a full rounding through the spine, extending out through the arms. Inhale and lift your heart up, open up the throat, big inhale, and then exhale, follow the breath. One more time here, inhale, lifting up, and exhale and round. And inhale to a neutral spine, coming back to the center. And now we're going to come back to a seat and move into a seated twist here. So ground your feet down. If your feet can be on the ground or in the pedals, pressing them firmly so you're pushing down through your heels, feeling the legs strong. And then we're going to slowly twist to the right. Your legs can be crossed here, your legs can be extended. It doesn't really matter which position your legs are in. We're just moving the spine to the right here. We take your right hand to the chair or back behind you, left hand to the knee, either knee, and look up. So try not to let the head come back, but you're just gently looking up and back here as you twist from the low back all the way up the mid back, and then lastly we get that upper back twist. Make sure that you're breathing. Good. Come back to center and then twist over to the other side. Good. Take your right hand to your left leg and your left hand's back behind you. So inhale, lift up through the crown of the head, and then exhale, look over your left shoulder. Deep breaths. Making sure not to hold the breath in any of these postures, especially in these twists as we're detoxifying. So we want to bring in that oxygen and release whatever it is we don't need anymore. Good. Come all the way back to the center and lift up. We're going to take a side body bend now. So right hand either on the ground, or right hand can grab the chair or place it on a block. We're going to bring that left arm up. And just for a little variation here, I like to take the left hand behind the head and then just let your right hand slide down or reach out and reach that left elbow up. So not only do we get this nice big stretch to the rib cage, but we get underneath the left armpit and those lats. Good. Just letting the body bend over to the right side. And then slowly come all the way back up. And then switch it out. Take your right hand back. Take your left hand down to the side and make your way over to the left side. Good. Going slow. Breathing into that right side body so you're opening up the right rib cage. And moving the breath right into that space. Good. And then come all the way back to the center. Good. We're going to come now into a forward fold. So if you're on the mat, go ahead and extend your legs straight out. If you have some help, maybe you can have somebody put your legs up on a chair out in front of you so your legs are extended out and we just don't want to hyperextend. So just making sure that It's not too high up if your legs are lifted. And if you're real tight in your hamstrings, you can always, if you're on the mat, you can roll a blanket or something underneath your knees. So, but if you're staying in your seat here, you can achieve this perfectly from this position as well. So we're just going to fold forward from the waist. So slowly walk your hands down alongside the legs and folding, maybe taking your hands to blocks or maybe just keeping your hands or your forearms on your knees. So this one, especially if you're seated, is for the back, for the waistline. We're trying to hinge at the waist and get the back to stretch and lengthen here. If you're on the mat, your legs are extended out. You're also getting your hamstrings, your calves. If you can reach your feet, maybe even pull your toes up so your toes are pointed up. That way you really get the calves and your Achilles and your feet, the arches of your feet. So take it wherever you can and then breathe there. If you're seated in a chair and you can go a little further, you can let your body drape over your legs, maybe even let your head hang down. This is a nice place to move the head if you're in a chair because your head is hanging here. So you can take little yes and no nods. And then slowly coming up. If you're all the way down, come up halfway first. Take a breath here. And then slowly, especially if you've got low blood pressure, you gotta come all the way back up, nice and slow. And breathing as you rise back up to a seated position. So now I want to take the opposite and come into some back bending positions. So that was a nice deep forward bend. So now I'd like to do the opposite and come into cobra pose. So if you can flip over onto your belly, that's a great way to reach this posture. And you're going to flip over on your belly and take your hands right under your shoulders. So for those of us that are in a chair, let's just take our hands up by the shoulders just like this and pin the elbows back. So you're trying to press your fingers straight up, and you'll feel this a lot in your shoulder blade area as you bring the shoulder blades together. If you're on the mat, you can, if it's easier for you to take your forearms down, you can do that too. That's called the Sphinx pose. Or you can just slide your hands back so just your hands are touching the mat. Either way is a wonderful back bend. So whatever feels best for you to get that nice even curve through the spine without pinching. Make sure you can breathe. If you're seated, you're really working the upper back muscles as you pin those elbows back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and you slightly just lift your gaze. So even if you're on the mat, you want to slightly lift your gaze so that there's this long line of energy moving up the spine all the way out through the crown of the head. Take one more deep breath. Good. And then release all the way down. If you're on your mat, take your hands together and make a pillow and rest your forehead. If you're seated, place your hands on your thighs and just close your eyes for a moment. So we did a nice deep forward bend and then a nice deep back bend. So we just want to rest here in neutral for a moment. Let the muscles relax. Good. And then while we're here in this position, if you're on the mat, stay here on your belly. We're going to move into a Superman pose. So you're going to take, if you're on your belly, you're going to extend your arms straight out in front. You can keep your forehead on the mat. And if you're in your chair, you're going to reach your arms straight out in front. And then we're going to slowly just lift both arms up. Lift the head up with it. Just to the height that feels okay for your head, neck, and shoulders to all come up together. So if you can Bring your arms up a little bit closer so your biceps are in line with your ears. That's great. Moving in that direction. Keep breathing. This is a lot for the back. If you're seated, you're just reaching high and reaching back. If you're on your belly, you're reaching out and reaching up. Take one more deep breath. Working those back muscles. And then exhale, slowly come all the way down. Ooh, nice little rest again here. You can take your hands by your sides. You can rest right out in front. You can make a pillow. And just relaxing to come back to neutral. And then if you're on your mat and you're comfortable moving into a child's pose position, that is a great position to take from here. Taking your knees wide and pushing yourself back, sitting your hips by your heels. Good. And so the opposite of this, which is another great pose, is called Apanasana. It's not so much opposite, it's just flipped over on your back. Maybe you can do this from a chair too, is bring one knee in, maybe both knees, or if you're on your mat, you squeeze and curl into a ball. So same rounded position here, just a nice release for the back. So either way, you can do child's pose or Apanasana, squeezing yourself into a little ball to round the back. If you can't lift your legs, that's okay. You can still find this rounded back position to find that nice little forward fold. Good. And then we'll go ahead and release and come around. If you're on I have a couple options here. So I want to take this last pose, or set up in your last pose. So you're going to come on your back. If you're able to come on your back, please lie down. And I'll demo this first, and then I'll do a seated version. So on your back, you're going to take your knees into your chest, and we're just going to do a little supine twist here. So knees over to one side, and then look to the opposite side. So if you're in your chair, we come back to that same seated twist that we did before. You can add a variation here and cross your legs if you'd like. So if your right leg crosses over the left, then you would twist to the right. So you twist to that leg that's lifted. So that gets a little bit more into the hips. And then go ahead and come back to center. And then we'll twist to the other side. So if you're on the mat, take your legs over to the other side. If you're seated, left leg comes up and over. Or you can just come back to that same twist that we did previously. I like to start with a twist in the beginning of the practice and then do it again at the end, because the spine's been awakened a bit. It's always a nice way to release. Good. And then slowly come back to the center. And then for this last pose, if you're able to get down on the ground and towards a wall, that would be awesome. So I will demo this here of bringing the legs up the wall. So you bring your bottom as close to the wall as you can and lift your legs up and rest here. So if a wall isn't handy but a chair or something is, then maybe you can just place your legs on the chair here. Just having them above you is a really great way to calm the nervous system and release the back. If you can always lie flat in Shavasana too. This is just a variation here that I like to give. These really are so calming for the nervous system that it's nice to do this before bed too. Legs at the wall or legs on a chair to just allow everything to slow down. So if you're going to stay in your chair, We come into a relaxed seated position. This would be our final pose here. So getting comfortable, maybe supporting yourself with a blanket or towel along your spine, and just resting here with your shoulders relaxed, your palms on your thighs, your eyes closed. And just settling into your most relaxed position. This is our final pose, where we let all the benefits of our practice soak in. And you can slow down the breath. So, taking all effort away, making this an effortless posture where we can tap into that inner peace, that calm, beautiful, peaceful energy that's always there inside of us. Just feeling the tension melt away from your body, melt away from your mind. And then bring your hands together in front of your heart in a prayer position, wherever you're at. Just taking a moment to honor yourself here. And taking time out of your day to nourish the relationship between your mind and your body. To connect to that life force, that breath within you. And to move mindfully with others, creating more peace within so we can share it with everyone else. And bring your head down to your hands, bowing. Namaste. Thank you all for coming. Hope you have a wonderful day.